The gods had condemned Sisyphus to ceaselessly rolling a rock to the top of a mountain, whence the stone would fall back of its own weight. They had thought with some reason that there is no more dreadful punishment than futile and hopeless labor. This ancient Greek myth, for Albert Camus, is the perfect allegory for the human condition. We are Sisyphus. Our lives are often filled with repetitive, seemingly pointless tasks. We work, we build, we love, and eventually, death rolls the rock back to the bottom of the hill. All our efforts are ultimately erased. What could be more absurd? And yet, Camus concludes his essay with one of the most startling and revolutionary sentences in all of philosophy. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Welcome back to the Rebel's Atlas. Today we explore the heart of Camus's philosophy, the architecture of defiant joy. How can a man condemned to an eternity of futile labor be happy? The answer lies not in changing his fate, but in changing his relationship to it. Sisyphus's torment only works if he retains a sliver of hope, if he dreams that one day the rock might stay at the top. His tragedy is his awareness of his condition. But Camus flips this on its head. He says that Sisyphus's consciousness is also the key to his victory. The crucial moment in the myth is not the struggle up the hill. It is the pause at the top after the rock has rolled away. It is Sisyphus walking back down the mountain to begin again. It is during that return, that pause, Camus writes, that Sisyphus interests me. A face that toils so close to stones is already stone itself. I see that man going back down with a heavy yet measured step toward the torment of which he will never know the end. That hour is the hour of consciousness. In that moment of lucidity, Sisyphus is superior to his rock. He knows the full extent of his wretched condition, and it is this lucid knowledge that allows him to transcend it. He can scorn his fate. By consciously choosing to pick up the rock again, he transforms his punishment into a chosen passion. This is where the inner vision architecture becomes a blueprint for the absurd hero. Sisyphus has achieved perfect detection. He sees his reality without any illusion. He has adjusted his filtering system to reject the filter of hope, which would only cause him pain. He now has a filter of pure, lucid awareness. This clear perception allows for a new kind of transmission to occur. It is not a transmission of despair, but of defiance. It is the rebellion of the human spirit against its condition. Sisyphus's secret joy is in this silent, stubborn revolt. He is saying to the gods, "You can condemn my body to this labor, but you cannot condemn my mind. I am freer than you, because I am conscious of my fate, and I choose to embrace it." This leads to a profound new recognition. Sisyphus recognizes that the meaning of his life is not to be found at the top of the mountain. There is no ultimate goal, no final victory. The meaning is to be found in the struggle itself. The struggle itself toward the heights is enough to fill a man's heart, Camus writes. This is a radical re-architecting of our search for meaning. We are taught to find meaning in our accomplishments, in the outcomes. Camus teaches us to find meaning in the process, in the quality of our effort, in the dignity of our struggle. The happiness of Sisyphus is a grim, hard-won happiness. It is not the easy pleasure of distraction. It is the deep satisfaction that comes from living in complete alignment with the truth of one's condition. He has found a way to be free, even in chains. So how do we apply this to our own lives? We must become Sisyphus. We must identify the boulder in our own life, the repetitive job, the chronic illness, the difficult relationship, the fundamental absurdity of our own mortality. And we must learn to walk down the mountain with that same heavy yet measured step. We must stop hoping for a magical rescue. We must stop dreaming that one day the boulder will disappear. Instead, we must turn toward it. We must look it squarely in the face, and we must consciously choose to pick it up again, not with resignation, but with a defiant passion. We must fall in love with our own struggle. We must find our meaning and our joy not in the hope of reaching some future paradise, but in the rich, textured, and fully conscious reality of this present moment of effort. This is the architecture of an unconquerable soul. The gods thought they had given Sisyphus the worst possible punishment, but in doing so, they inadvertently gave him the raw materials to create his own meaning and his own happiness. They gave him a rock, and that was enough. In our next episode, we will explore the paths that Camus warns us against. We will examine the twin temptations of the leap and the noose, of philosophical and physical suicide, and why, for the absurd hero, these are not solutions, but escapes from the difficult, beautiful task of living. For now, the practice is this: identify your boulder, name it, and for one day, try to push it not with resentment, but with the focused, serene, and defiant dignity of Sisyphus. Find the meaning not at the summit, but in the muscle and the stone.